What's up, guys? It's Flash back with some more charts in another video. Today is Sunday, April 21. It's the weekend, so markets are not open. But I wanted to take this opportunity to just go through our core uranium tickers that I think are worthwhile right now to be looking at. And so, just a different perspective today. We're on the 2 week time frame on the Heikin Ashi candles, and I think they just give you a different look, a different perspective of supports, resistances, this climb up that I think we're going through. And so, just gonna go through these and drop me a like, drop me a subscription if you haven't, and drop me a comment if you have a particular ticker in mind that you want to see. Happy to go through them. So starting off with URA again, just on the 2 weekly time frame, and it's a nice looking chart. I've talked about this stair step pattern. We're gonna go up and retouch this stair. Gonna go up here, retouch this stair. We're gonna go up here, and hopefully consolidate and continue going up. But it's not gonna happen overnight. If we follow these bulls, these moving averages, we're looking at into the late 2020s and when we would likely be taking profit of some sort. So steady as she goes. I'm gonna keep looking at URA as the baseline. I know there's URNM and URNJ here. Really they're very, very similar. They're not all that different. And so just a couple other ones that I think some good ratios to look at. I love to look at the ratios, compare different assets. If we look at URA measured in the S&P 500, I mean, again, consolidation, we're breaking out, we're back testing. We're still under a little bit of resistance here, but I want to see this, come up through here, 0.0065, and continue the march up. This kind of, and then I have URA measured in gold. And so these kind of look similar, right? So URA measured in the S&P 500, URA in gold. Looks like this is lagging a bit. And that makes sense, right? Because like I've said, gold is I think set to outperform the S&P 500. So it's been strong recently. And so we just want to see the continued strength in URA. Maybe it rounds out here, forms a higher low, and we can continue our march upwards. But for the sake of this exercise, let's put in a conservative target of URA measured in gold of 0.0377. And then, okay, so let's round up. Gold's at $2,500 today. If we do 2,500 times 0.0377, that gives URA a number of 94.25. So that's if gold stays flat and we continue up in URA, 94.25, that's right up here. That's kind of right in line with this target. But I don't think gold is going to stay at 2,500. And so again, let's do a $5,000 gold times 0.0377. That gives URA 188.5. That is bonkers, right? So that's up here, 188.5. That's bonkers. And that's $5,000 gold. And you know what? I'm just gonna go a little bit off the beaten path on this video. Well, let me go to my gold chart. I thought I had it here. We'll go to gold here. And so $5,000 gold, that's up here. I've seen some price targets of higher, of lower, but man, that's exciting to think about, these ratios, URA measured in gold. If we're gonna be up here at least compared to gold, that could be an aggressive target, it could be a conservative target. We kind of got to see how it plays out, but that's pointing for much higher numbers for uranium index, and I love to see it, frankly. Let's go over to CCJ, leading the pack. I don't know if I'm going to go through all of these. Oh, they're not even loading. So no, we're just going to go through price today. But I mean, CCJ just looking absolutely beautiful, uptrend. We're just kind of building our energy, going a little bit sideways right now. You can't see it. You can't even see it in these 2 weekly candles. But it just looks so good. Bannerman, I don't have a ton to say, honestly, about each individual ticker because, they're just doing what we're kind of envisioning. We want to keep following up this bull, keep the uptrend alive. It's going to take weeks, months, quarters, years. And yeah, this bull is showing support. We had support here, have some support here, and it's kind of matching what it's doing over here. We may get a dip or some sort, and this is more of just a guideline, really. It is a support line, but with Bannerman specifically, there's something going on over here. So we just got to be mindful of that, but it's not going to be perfect. Boss Energy, gonna kind of match this up on a parabola, leading the way. It's one of the leaders. Again, Paladin, another one I love to look at. I adjusted this support resistance because on the Heikin Ashi, you can see this was support, broke down, turned into resistance, and then we might be coming in for a little bit of a congestion area where we go sideways, continue to build the energy, and keep going up. Encore Energy, this one is pretty exciting because I think we have our general parallel channel uptrend right here, and now we have a new defined uptrend here. I want to see this kind of come up here, break out of this, and continue going up here to 300s. I think that would be insane, but a little bit of moon boy in me. But the path is there, the map is there. FSY, another one I love to look at. Look at this one. Resistance, 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 consolidation. Hopefully we're bull flagging, building the energy to go higher. UEC, I would say we're still basing out. It's just a big base. A lot of energy here in this base. Next Gen, another leader of the pack. The charts just look good. They look really good on the Heikin Ashi 2 week time frame. It blocks out a lot of the noise. What I also like to do sometimes is go into settings and take the wicks off. And so that can even be a little bit more interesting to look at, to kind of removes even more noise. So really the support and resistance line down here for Denison is even, you could make the argument it's down here and we're already above it. But when we turn the wicks on, yeah, maybe this should be adjusted, honestly. We could even move it right here. Yeah, honestly. So Denison, is breaking out. Plain and simple. In this uptrend. If you want to buy the breakout, not financial advice, but it looks great. ISO Energy, to wrap up the leaders category, ISO is kind of at the point where should start turning up if it's gonna keep following this trend. Looks like a pretty juicy spot to be loading up. Because if we are to break out from here, make a run, 20 bagger, pretty nice. All right, let's go to the middle of the pack. So we got LEU all the way down to Kane, Alaska. And man, LEU's also similar to ISO. This is the time where it should start turning up, I think. I think it's going to. It's kind of, it does these round trips down here. Round trip, round trip, round trip, round trip, round trip. We're just kind of rounding out right here, and hopefully we take the rest of this year in LEU or through September to kind of come up here and then make an explosive move in 2025 up to 120. I think would be a pretty good story for us. Elevate. So Elevate is kind of, it's outside this channel, it looks like right now. Sometimes yeah. So it's hanging on though. I still love Elevate. We're kind of flagging out upward, accumulation, continued accumulation in an upwards channel, it looks like. So I'm not really worried about Elevate. Sky Harbor, another one that looks really good on the Heikin Ashi 2-week time frame. We'll zoom way out here while keeping it intact. But this bull, I mean, what a beautiful bull Sky Harbor exhibits. And we're at support. At support underneath resistance. This looks like one big consolidation, one triangle consolidation. You could say that it already consolidated in here, but this just looks really good, ready to explode, it looks like. Laramide, I mean, has already made an incredible run, but I don't think Laramide has even gotten started yet. But again, this one can go sideways for a good while. It can continue to consolidate as well. Like we could even go like this, almost like a bull flag. I don't know. I'm kind of just spitballing right now, but we could see some continued consolidation at a Laramide. But as long as it stays right above, 75 cents, 70 cents, I think it's in good shape. So energy fuels, again, similar to Sky Harbor. I think I've shown this one before, but I'm going to jump back to Sky Harbor and see these lines, these extended kind of consolidation lines. That kind of gives me vibes of energy fuels. Again, just one that's taking a little bit more time to consolidate, build up its energy before a massive explosion to the upside, in my opinion, right? But man, this looks like if you're confident in the uranium space, in the uranium sector, and you want to get in, like U is kind of a good buy candidate. It's on support, ton of upside, not financial advice, but man, I would be looking at energy fuels. MGA, again, similar to Laramide, I look at MGA, made an incredible run, but man, it still has so much upside if it's going to do a reverse symmetry move all the way up and follow this bull in the channel. Again, retesting some previous resistance turned support. This line around 36 cents. Looks great. GLO, I've said this before, but it just needs a little bit more time to base out and consolidate. Kind of has this look to it, expanding, broadening wedge. That's bullish. But this just gets affected by the news stories that, in other parts of the world that affects this stock. So again, I think it kind of just will bounce around a little bit before it continues its run up. But I still like GLO. Uroy's hanging on. It's hanging on at the bottom of this channel. You want to start seeing it turn up. Another potential good buy candidate. It doesn't, instead of buying when it breaks out, you could also have I kind of see this forming, which could be explosive. Deep yellow is an interesting one because it's consolidating, but it's also going up and to the right. So this one's a tricky one because it has this spike right here. It kind of takes away this line. But this line I think is still valid because I have some touch points up here, all throughout here. And then we're kind of just, let's see if we can throw in some more lines here. You kind of got something going on right here actually. So it makes sense, it's kind of pausing right here. But it's poking its head up. It's getting ready to go, I think. F3 Uranium Corp. Another tricky one, but just looks like some sort of cup and handle that it's formed. So I think once it breaks out of this green consolidation zone around 50 upwards to 55 cents, I think we're going to have ourselves a runner. It looks good. Cap, similar thing, kind of a cup and handle formation. A lot of these have that kind of cup and handle formation. And I think once it breaks 46.20-ish, going to see Cap continuing to move. One of the bigger names in the space. Western Uranium, WUC, just one big bull, one big base. That's kind of what I'm thinking about this. And then, obviously you have your head, your shoulder, head, shoulder, very, very long-term explosive head and shoulder base with a target of 37 bucks. Looks great. Looks great, just needs some time. Just got to be patient and accumulate, and then boom. Again, I think this is going to go into the late 2020s, this bull run in uranium specifically. Alaska, CVV. You know, you could draw this a couple different ways. This almost, the bowl would have to be pretty extended, but we could put a bowl on this or an arc of some sort and just kind of see how it lines up. You just kind of drag it out. So I mean, it fits, right? You don't have any price action back here, but we can kind of play around with that. Again, just needs some time to continue consolidating and building energy. Okay, so now we'll jump through the rest. These are the ones that are a bit laggy. They're lagging in the space. BSK, for example. I personally got into BSK up here in like 22 cents, and I've held it throughout this whole downtrend. So not the easiest hold, but I think this one can pop and get very, very explosive. And so it's tough. You know, it's definitely been lagging, but I think it can pop. I still have hope. Otherwise, you know, it's in the uranium space. It should go up with the others, but I think it's an explorer, so you know, they may be lagging. FMC, Forum Energy. This one, I believe, is below the Ichimoku cloud and the 3-year moving average on the monthly, which is why it's kind of stalling. And I can show you that. We'll go on to the monthly. So yeah, it's below the 3-year moving average. Look at it, kind of touched it perfectly. And I think it's just kind of flagging out, consolidating to build the energy to get above the 3-year moving average and continue up the bull. Go back to the 2-week on the Heikin Ashi. And look at that, that's interesting. Finding support on the, I can't even do that math right now, but it's the 36 period on the 2-week moving average. So that's really interesting. It's kind of caught between the 3-year moving average and this one. So very, very interesting. AEC, I have a huge bull on this one. But this could also, you know, it could go up before it even touches over here. So good to keep an eye on it. It's super low. It's a good kind of buy low, sell high candidate, but it's years out. It would be a long-term hold, I think. But one to keep in mind, Peninsula Energy, PEN. Kind of a weird stock, honestly, but we are breaking out and we're flagging. I don't know, I just don't love the look. That's why it's lagging. GoviX. See, I don't know. I'm not as excited about GoviX compared to a lot of these other ones. But you never know. Explosive. This can get very explosive quickly. It's hard to predict. And then find baseload energy. Big consolidation still. Kind of like UUU, kind of like Sky Harbor or LEU. But it is lagging still. So I think once this breaks out, go sideways a little bit, we can make a run for it. So that's what I have, guys. I think, you know, URA looks great, and then URA versus XPX looks great, and URA versus gold, breakout, retest. That's kind of the moral of the story. We want to be outperforming both the S&P 500 and gold. So got to be patient. Give it to the late 2020s, the later part of this decade. I think that's when you'll see a lot of profits being taken. That's when a lot more hype will be in the space, and you'll be able to sell your shares into the crowd, if that makes sense. So that's why we're a little bit early. I understand. A lot of you guys have been here for a while. If you have any questions, feel free to hit me up, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take it easy. Have a great weekend.